cue intro. Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on The Supernatural Show, the show that is not for entertainment purposes. Today will probably be a good example again of that. And what we're going to be talking about is, let's see if I can give you a little quick example. We're going to be talking about, you see the map and you think you already know what we're going to be talking about based on your previous knowledge and understandings of various things related to this information of this map. I would encourage you not to have that knee-jerk thought, because you don't know where we're going, because this is the Supernatural Show. With that being said, though, we've got a few people here with us today. We've got Miss Kim in the house. She's over here doing co-director stuff. And we've got Roxy here with us as well.
Hello.
Roxy with the Roxy Files on YouTube, roxyfiles.com. And the Roxy Files are part of the Supernatural Show network. And what's happening, Miss Roxy?
Tired, man. I'm tired.
What in the world?
I'm just exhausted. I have moved more belongings than any human should probably own. I moved 5 people in 3 days.
Yep. Yeah, I happened to get to witness a little bit of it. Yep. Roxy's been moving we'll just make a joke out of it and say to the governor's mansion.
We call it She Manor.
She Manor. Got a new name.
She Manor.
Okay.
Yeah, She Manor.
Okay. Well, that is cool. Shannon is tied up with some work she's having to take care of, to generate some dollar bills in this world. And so she's not available with us today, but she'll be back, I'm sure, on Friday for sure, probably. And then also probably on the Roxy Files show tomorrow night, and then probably on the Children of the Most High on Thursday night as well. The schedule and details are on the website. So, as you can see on the screen, it says, tell my story at TheSupernatural.Show. That is for you to be able to write in and tell us your supernatural stories or happenings that have happened in your life that no one would ever believe. But we'll believe you. We just want you to tell the truth and don't worry about how supernatural it is or seems to anyone else. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right into what we want to talk about today. Now, this is theoretical, you might say, supernatural, definitely. And we're just going to go through some thoughts about some things and just, we're thinking out loud. We're sitting around the coffee table with y'all guys and sharing, what do you think? This is interesting? What do you think about this? Well, I wonder if that could be real. I wonder if that would have to be supernatural. Yeah, that kind of a conversation, but that's what we're going to do. Now, if you're not familiar with what you're looking at, this is called the 1595, I think it was, Mercator North Pole map. And, we all grew up going to elementary school, kindergarten, first grade, and what was always on the teacher's desk was this globe staring us all in the face. And, the teacher would turn it and point out on there, here's Africa around here on the ball, and here's all this. But yet, this is not a ball versus flat earth discussion today. What this is a discussion more pointed on the reality of what the North Pole is, okay? The reality of the North Pole. And, whoops, accidentally hit the wrong button. Let's go back.
Trying to wipe us out there?
I think so. Hit one wrong button. Okay, so there are books and old papers and even scriptural things out of the Bible that talks about the 4 rivers, okay, in the north. And also there's, you could even lean towards Garden of Eden kind of conversation or thought. Again, we're doing theoretical today, okay? We're not, I'm not standing here saying to you this is fact. What I'm saying is, this is interesting to me. I'm seeking knowledge when it comes into certain areas. And so in order to stand a chance, you have to explore some ideas, and that's called theory. So that's what we're going to do. Now, it is said that according to documents from letters between ancient kings and the ones that ultimately first came to dominate the seas, okay, and they created ultimately a map called Mercator. Mercator is an interesting name because most people think Mercator is the name of a man. And I guess it could be, but I don't think so, because it would have just happened to have been the perfect name for this man. You see, because if you break down Mercator, you're going to get Mercator or Mercator. Mer is a word like mermaid or marine, words that are related to the oceans, the oceans of the world, okay, and specifically what's in them. Like in mermaid, there's a maid in the mer. There's a maid in the oceans, okay? In this case, it's mer, as in referring to the oceans, and then it's cator, like locator. If you wanted to do it that way, you could say locator, like a locator, okay? Meaning locating the waters of the world. You could go down, break it even more in the fact that it has the word tour on the end. Of course, tour is a word meaning to tour something, like to go on a tour bus or to go on a tour of Italy or to, and so it's easy to see that the word Mercator is actually a description of the attributes of this map and probably not an actual man's name. But maybe it is, maybe it ain't. That's just my looking at the word and a greater understanding. Now, this map, in case you've never really looked at it that much, you've got what looks like this circle in the middle here. And you've got what looks like 4 virtual islands. Okay. And then you've got 4 rivers. And you've got all these little inlets, like little fingers. Okay. And if you go digging into the history of the old letters and stuff that supposedly exists out there, again, I can't swear to all of it, but what is said that is happening here is that the waters actually flow inward in these rivers. All these inlets or fingers, the water flows inwards to the north. Okay. Of course, salt water is very can be affected by magnetism as well as electrical things, which are tied to magnetism, of course. And if this is a true North Pole, of course, you would think, well, maybe it would be attracted to it. But then where's it all going to go? Well, as the writings go, it says that the water comes here and then it spins in like a funnel, okay, or a whirlpool, okay. It is said to come in here and spin in circles around what is called Rupus Niagara, okay, and meaning black rock. Supposedly there is a giant, very large rock or mountain that is black that reaches the clouds in the center here. That's been documented by a lot of ship captains and explorers that went into these areas when it was still allowed to go here, because you and I can't go here. It's protected just like the Arctic wall is protected. And so when I look at this, the way some of you know me, the way I'm going to look at this is, if this is real, then it exists symbolically somehow within the human body, because we are in the image of God. And I also believe that we are in the image of creation, or rather creation in the image of us. So there was a while back, I was doing some research, and feel free to jump in at any time, Roxy, or I'll just keep talking. But a while back, I was doing some research about the human body and the arterial systems that are in the human body. Like, for instance, the human heart has 4 arteries. Just a quinkadink, of course. Just happens to have 4 arteries. But then I consider the heart to be what's called a point of creation in the human body, okay? And there's also other points of creation, meaning, you notice how this right here is a circle. Let's pretend that this is a man's breast or his pec. You've got the circle, and then in the middle you have the thing that sticks up, called the nipple. Okay. And that is a point of creation where something can come through or go through. In this case, apparently water's going through, but then also something I think is coming out. And that is energy in the form of northern lights. Okay. The spark, the fire of the heavens, I do believe likely, theoretically, I'll throw that word in there, is likely coming from this area of the north. Okay. And so if you look at, let's say, the human eye, because the eye looks like this too, the circle with the pupil in the middle. Once again, imagine that. And the eye has what? 4 arteries. Imagine that. Guess what the breasts on a man and a woman both have? 4 arteries. And then if you look at the female and male reproductive systems, because they are certainly portals too, something can go in, especially for the female, something can go in and something might come out like a baby. Okay. And so you have there as well, point of creation, absolutely. And it, it very much, again, could be is symbolism for what we're looking at here. So it's all over the human body, even the hands and the feet, the soles of the feet, they all have 4 arteries running to these things. So it just happens to be that they depicted this map that happens to look like a point of creation, like a portal, and just happens to have 4 arteries. Of course, it has a lot of little feeder veins, and other little areas that flow, but they all come together into the arteries. And the waters of the world flow into them, is what's said. And then it comes here into a whirlpool, and then they say it goes down into the bowels of the earth. Kind of like you drinking some water and it going down into the bowels of your bowels. That kind of a thing. And so we're going to look at this and connect a lot of different things. But let's check in with Roxy, because I tend to talk too much. What are you thinking,
No, you would never get long-winded.
No. Only like 2 or 3 hours.
Hello, everybody. I am here. I'm sorry. I was kind of sidetracked. Got a text from someone who's watching the show and gave me a word, and I'm kind of down that, which has something to do, with a lot of things we've talked about, and noble gases and aurora borealis. Sonoluminescence is where I'm at. But anyway, sono, it's actually sauna for sound. When a sound wave interacts with a gas, it can, anyway, it's a long story. Sorry.
It can excite the gas and create a glow like a northern light.
Right.
It's an ionizing sound is basically no different than light. They both are protobations that flow like the oceans, the waves on the oceans. The water doesn't actually really move much. It just pushes the next group of water. That's how light flows. That's how sound flows. It is in wave forms, just like the oceans. All things in our world and in our bodies and in the heavens above are simple. They're not complex like science tries to make them. They're all very simple. You just have to slow your mind and notice the simple nature.
Well, when a sound wave of a sufficient intensity, in a gaseous cavity within a liquid, when it collapses quickly, it will emit a burst of light. And that's a portion of our thing in the north, which is where my text come from. The north, sir.
Well, the north is an interesting thing we happen to be talking about today for a number of reasons.
Many reasons.
Many reasons. Many reasons. And matter of fact, we're even going to talk about Santa Claus. The what's the word I'm looking for? The blasphemy, alteration, up is down, black is white, opposite. And talk about why did they say that Santa Claus was from the North Pole. And what does that even mean? Of course, pole is a reference to many things, but it's magnetism, and Rupus Negre would be that pole. Now, I also look at this and I wonder if this entire thing, including Rupus Negre, was likely a tree. Maybe even the tree, the mythical tree from the Garden of Eden. And no, I'm not saying that's fact. I told you from the beginning, this is theory. Okay? Now, if it becomes fact in my mind, I'll tell you. But right now, let's just say theory, okay? But we look like these mountainous areas here, these 4 areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are said to be plateaus. Mountainous, some areas rough, but plateaus. And so they're flat on top. Now, you see, because around the edge, you can see it looks like mountains that you got to climb. But they didn't put mountains in here. It's all flat. But in here in the very middle, there's a mountain depicted. Is that all mistake? Was the map designer, if you look at the other parts of the map, let's see what he chose to do. Over here, there's mountains all over, showing where there are mountains in that country, okay? In a lot of cases, are the ancient trees of the world, the remains of those ancient trees. If you're not aware of that knowledge and information, I'm sorry to impose on your reality, but it is what it is. But I'm looking at this, and this is ringed in what looks like kind of like mountains where we'd have to go up. And then once we get on top, it's flat, like a tree stump. So I wonder what's going on exactly here. It almost looks like we got a tree inside of a tree, or a tree in the center of a garden area. Because the tree of good and evil in the Garden of Eden is said to be specifically, and the word exactly is the midst. Define midst. You'll find out it is the middle. Okay. I see you on the website there. The midst is the middle.
Well, if you're what's in the middle of your forehead?
In the middle of your forehead. Your forehead? What's in the middle of it is the Christogalli.
Okay.
Or the ethmoid bone. But how are you looking at it?
I'm looking at it from in exactly that way. I was sent a text and I hadn't quite thought about it like that. Where your Christogalli and your pineal and all of this is located right there, right above your eyebrows in the center. That's in the center of your forehead. Right there, you have a rock in the middle of 4 quadrants with 4 rivers coming in right into the center.
You do, because you have 4 arteries that run up through there and come and feed that whole area. You have 4 rivers coming into the head, 4 arteries, just like you have going to the heart and other places in the body that are points of creation. Very good, astute observation, Grasshopper.
Somebody said something to me, and yeah.
I know. Santa Claus is talking to you. Or should we say the opposite of Santa Claus?
Yeah, the opposite.
Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and let's click through and let's look at a few other things here. See what we see. Oh, how'd this get in here? Oh, wait a minute. That is a full solar halo that looks like a point of creation, a circle with a point in the middle that is highly energetic, just like in this image. That's the sun. That is highly energetic. It is a spark. It is the fire that is flowing out from it. And how many, as you notice, there is a circle around the center, an energetic circle. As this rises, you would see the circle is a full circle. And then you have to say, then what's the deal? Well, you have 4 energetic rivers flowing out even from that. You have one flowing this way and that way. That's 2. And then you have one flowing up and down. That's 4. That is in the image of that. Is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It
Mm-hmm.
is. Now,
My brain's on fire. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it is. Don't, don't put it out. Let it burn. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I happened to pull up and looked at these guys, BlackRock dudes, right? And because, these guys control the currency, the current, the flow of water, money, all around the world. Do they not? They are one of the largest controllers of money in the world. Oh, that's right. That's right. They do control the currency and flow of the current, that runs along the bank and, in the world and feeds everything, including, hopefully everybody can see the symbolic nature of my language. Now, inside of the BlackRock building, of course, as you can see here, looking inside, there's a square inside of a square in there. They are looking at it from the cube of Saturn, like inside in the midst of a torus when it's spinning a fifth dimensional. Well, let's start it at a three-dimensional or even fourth dimensional cube is rotating inside the center energetically of a hurricane in the eye, and also on Saturn, according to them, if they've showed us any pictures that are real, which we're not sure because they're liars and we tend not to pay too much attention to liars. But we do watch what they do and don't listen to what they say. So now I think we should look a little closer here. So you got the entry to this building. It has all this amber glass here in the front. It has the gateways to go in have four. It has four.
They're forked.
There are four turnstiles in there, and you say, "Well, that's normal." Does something being normal not mean you shouldn't observe it? Of course you should. But there's two of them. There's one on this side that say four turnstiles spinning like a torus, spinning in a circle, like the current flow of water. And then you go inside and you see this kind of deal as well. And I don't know for sure if this is the same building. But then you have BlackRock back here, which is obsidian. Obsidian is an interesting kind of rock, isn't it? Rock, see.
It is. It is silica.
Oh.
Like good old silica.
Well, what is silica? Rock, see?
We're
just having a little fun, guys, but we're serious about what we're talking about.
Sand and heat.
Yeah, it's formed by sand and heat or fire, right? It's sand formed into silicone or silica. Okay, now this one is a very interesting one because it was found on a beach near Nor, meaning north, Wicca, meaning like magic or a very magical area, you might say. Nor Wicca cat, okay? And I'm not sure on the cat part of the syllable there, but river, the Norwickacat River in Alaska in 1868. And this was found there. And of course, it makes one wonder because that's right over here. Okay. Off of the map, just over here would be Canada and Alaska, just off the map here. And I find that very interesting that rock that it just flowed to me today that was the rock I'm supposed to show a picture of. And it happens to be silica, okay? And silica is used to make silicone, and silicone is what is used to make computer chips and wafers. The things that you're using right now, you're holding them in your hand or you're watching it on the wall, it's full of silica, it's full of sand, like the beast out of the sea, out of Revelations, the beast that came out of the sea. what was it that came out of the sea? Well, what is the sea made of? It's made of current flow energy, of course, water, current flow energy, and it is made of sand. It is silica. And I find that quite interesting because, they say that the rock up there to the north is black. They say that that to me says it is likely a type of tree that is, that produces, well, all trees are very high in silica. Okay. First off, they're all very high in silica, just like volcanoes, coincidentally. And then, of course, this silica supposedly came out of a volcano, which, if you're not aware of, volcanoes are the remnants of ancient trees that have stored all of their energy down in the earth from the sun, from the fire, stored it down in the earth, and over time it transmutes it out chemicals, and it changes, and then it heats up, and it gets mad, and a lot of gases are bubbling up, because that energy's down there. It ain't going away, if you know what fat wood is. And then one day, it gets a bubble, comes up, boom, volcano erupted. And then they make it all complicated because it's called volcanism and all of this, and you don't know nothing about volcanoes. And I just explained to you in 30 seconds what a volcano is. Now, let's continue. All right. There was something I wanted to run a search for. What was it? They'll come back to me. This is just some information on obsidian, describing what obsidian is made out of, in case you don't want to take my word for anything you're hearing here today. Okay, you want to do your own praying. You want to do your own meditating. You want to do your own research, but yet still question every place you go to find an answer. You could be finding bait left or a honey hole left for you. Just like the whole Epstein thing right now going on. That's a giant honey hole. That's why we ain't talking about it, because I don't dance with the problem, reaction, solution scenario, because they're fixing to give you a solution for that, and you ain't gonna like it, really. They're going to say, well, the way to solve this kind of stuff is have AI run everything, including the government. All right. Let's see here. Okay, we talked about the 4 heart valves, the fact that there are 4 rivers running into the heart. And if something in nature, all things in nature function off the same way that our bodies function, then the heavens above function in the same similar method. Now, with the heart is very unique because it has a continuous fire. It has a continuous spark. Spark, 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 spark. It has a continuous spark. Just like the Northern Lights are there all the times, yet sometimes on special occasions when something special is happening or going on, we can see them. Like, y'all guys may remember, it hasn't been that long now, just a couple of years back, where the whole world got to see Northern Lights. So the lights from the north, from the center of the fire, the center of the garden, they flashed out and everybody got to see them. Highly likely symbolic and a sign that we were supposed to observe to know that there was great changes happening and things coming, you might say. Now, you guys, some of you have seen my documentary on angels. I have been blessed in my life to see literal angels, even up close, as close to maybe 25 feet. It's very simple. The way I see them, the way they've come to me, and I'm not saying this is the only way they exist, but they are bright balls of light about the size of a Volkswagen, and they are spinning like a torus. You can see the energy spinning around them. It's like a bubble hurricane, okay? And the energy is spinning, and the entity that is the angel exists inside of that, not on the outside. Just like we don't exist outside the ball, we exist in the ball. Okay. And so your heart has got the spark, 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 because it is a point of creation. Okay. And it is very similar to when a child is born, or rather when a child is conceived, when a male couples together with a female, just like when a lower level low in the tropics is spinning up, you will have an upper level low that will come, and she or it will mount on top of the lower level low. It will gain strength and start sparking. Lightning will start flying around the center of the eye continuously while the hurricane is gaining strength and gaining power. And very similar to everything we're talking about here. And the human egg, of course, it lets off a spark. Now, this is in black and white, the imagery that you're looking at there, but it actually produces lots of different colors. Likely every color there is, or every color in the rainbow. But it's harder to find the color version of the spark. You can see some little examples kind of here.
Well, through a little research, I found out that possibly the different color of the spark at conception is directly related to the blood type,
like
the blood combination.
The DNA, basically. Yeah. Yeah, it would make sense. That would definitely make sense. That would be
because there are some blood types up under lights when you run sound frequency through them. Particular blood types, and whether they're rhesus negative or positive, they have different light. They react differently with sound waves.
Yep. All right, let's see what we got here next. Okay, I talked about the angel spark. When an angel, right before an angel shows up, meaning shows his light, okay, which I've seen in excess, up close enough that they look like the size of a Volkswagen. I've seen them probably brought out about 100 times, okay. Something like that. Before they appear, and I demonstrate this and prove this in my documentary, that shows all these occasions of angels being actually filmed, which is not always the easiest thing to do, but it has been done. But when they show up, sometimes we get lucky and they'll show up one after the other. And when they do that is when some people have caught them. And what happens is there's a little spark right before the angel shows up. Like if you go out to the beach or on a mountaintop, which is where I would recommend, me being Daniel, I'd recommend going to the water's edge or on a mountaintop. And don't look at any one point in the sky. What you're doing is you're looking at the entire sky using your peripheral vision and everything, and you're not focusing on any one spot. But if they're around, you'll start seeing little sparks. Okay? And you have to be patient, and sometimes they just don't even show up, But if you're out there looking for them, and maybe you say a little prayer and say, can you please reveal yourself, and I'll give you permission to come close to me. And you never know what might happen. Speaking about that, probably a good time to remind y'all guys about this. And if you'd like to join us whenever we finally get to go, because we get to go once we have a large enough crowd so that the cruise industry will give us a cabin for free because, well, I can't afford to go on a cruise. I'm too busy working and getting these things taken care of. I don't work a job where I make regular money. So I get to go if y'all guys go. That's how it works. And we've basically got enough people to go, but we need to grow it still a little bit more. So we're going to keep promoting it. And you can go here on the website, click on the Angel Cruise, and come here and fill out the pre-registration form. And that's all it is it's a pre-registration form where it's saying that you're interested if it works out for you. You're interested maybe going if all things go great and it works out. And it allows you to choose a lot of different options. Again, all just means it's just giving me information. The cruise industry isn't getting this information because it's just us right now. But it also, one of the things that we're looking at is allowing people to have like 3 months or maybe even 6 months or 9 months to pay for the cruise in installments, because not everybody here has the ability to pay for a $500 cruise or $1,000 cruise all at once. They might need to pay, a couple $100, I'd say $100 a month for 6 months. And I'm going to put all that data together and figure out how it's going to work the best for us. And ultimately, we'll go on an Angel Cruise. Now, we've been talking about the sparks and all that, and we have something that floats around in the heavens up there called the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis, which is a very interesting set of syllables as well. And it all matches right up again with that light is coming from somewheres. And I know what NASA told you. Okay.
Oh, you funny.
Well, I do know. They told me the same thing. They told me, they told me all that fantasy stuff, Yeah. They even said they walked on the moon. Can you believe that? People will believe anything. Walked on the moon.
Yeah.
The moon ain't even a thing. You can't go walk on something that ain't even a thing. That's like saying you went and walked on the sun. Yeah, might as well believe that one. If you're going to believe they walked on the moon, they walked on the sun too. You see? But you can't go land on the sun, just like you can't go land on the moon. Hate to break the news to, somebody. But it is what it is. All right. So now, interestingly enough as well, Roxy,
Yes, sir.
we have something called the North Star, which they gave it the name of Polaris. Kind of like Taurus, Polaris, or Polaris. Okay, way that most people normally pronounce it. And Polaris is a point of light that exists straight above Rupus Negri. Okay, straight above the north, and all the stars in the heavens spin in a circle, just like the stump that's below the circle. Everything, and it looks like even kind of like an eye. It's spinning like a Taurus or a Polaris or yeah. And I find that very telling as well as related to the whole story of the North here, okay, and what the North really is. And, we're still in the realm of theory, but it will make you wonder truly, really, what the North is now, but not only that, what the North was. Because the Bible says the North Pole is guarded by angels with flaming swords, like light flying through the air, kind of like a Northern Lights. Isn't that interesting? But that's just coincidence, I suppose. What were you going to say, Roxy?
No, I was just going to say it was very, very interesting.
You're in the chat talking with people, ain't you?
I am. I got a cell phone going. I got the chat going. I'm trying to say hey to my people. We've been talking, and our people's there.
No, you got that right. I can't talk. Yeah, I can't do both talks. So
I know. I'm talking with the audience. You keep on keeping on, sir.
Okay. So we got Clara sitting up there in the middle of a mega spin, sitting up there in the image of a looks kind of like a rings in a tree stump, don't it? Funny how everything keeps coming back to that same imagery, like this tree thing. It's just so amazing to be able to
Nothing new under the sun.
Nope, nothing new under the sun. Oh, wait a minute.
Now this is my subject right here, sir.
We were going to talk about the fantasy of landing on the moon. So now let's talk about the fantasy of a fat man living at the North Pole. Wearing he's dressed in blood, but he's got white fringes and a white beard, so he's righteous. So and he happens to be sitting in front of a fireplace next to a tree. Why does this stuff keep coming back? Can you enlighten me a little bit, Rox? Maybe something of what you think.
Well, I can tell you a story about pagan religion way back in the day.
What did they worship?
Wait.
They worship the creation and not the creator.
Well, the whole story of the man in the little red suit with them starts way back at a little time with some rabbits and some eggs. Because rabbits and eggs have nothing to do with our reason for celebrating Easter. But rabbits and eggs mark fertility. Mm-hmm. Well, exactly 9 months from Easter, you have Christmas. Mm-hmm. Well, in Norse mythology and their pagan worship, the whole community, shall we say, got together and partook in fertility activities as a group in Easter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole crowd, the whole village, everybody.
That sounds like Sodom and Gomorrah. Everybody fall in a pile and go.
Yep. Wiggling and stuff and coloring.
Yep.
We call it coloring.
Yeah.
Wrestling. One of the viewers said, doesn't that? They called it wrestling.
Wrestling, yeah.
Anyway, they was wrestling, when they was
it's like bunnies. The WWE. And they have those big matches where they all get in there and they're all sweaty and greasy and they all wrestle.
It is an absolute mockery. Mm-hmm. But exactly 9 months later, you have Christmas. Mm-hmm. Well,
imagine that. 9 months later, after they played with some eggs, then something is supposed to be born, or they didn't call it that back then.
Well, there's some things that happen in the week preceding this, because that first baby born is sacrificed. But previous to that, the shaman or religious leader, whatever. Now, remember that Vikings lived way far north in the cold. They lived in yurts, and we're talking wintertime, so it's really cold. Well, the shaman would go around and cultivate a particular mushroom that looks like the ones on Super Mario World. And they would dry.
Magic mushroom. Oh.
Magic mushrooms.
There's probably one in this picture here somewhere if we look close enough. We got candy canes striped like a Taurus spinning around us.
Well, move over there to your Christmas tree. All those little ornaments you see represent how they dried those little psychedelic mushrooms. The shaman would hang them on cedar trees to dry. Oh. The night before the ceremony was supposed to happen, it was so cold and everybody's yurts like locked up, but you got a hole in the top because there's a fire and the smoke's got to go out. So the shaman would take this little bag of magic mushrooms that had been dried on a cedar tree and drop them down the top of the yurt. and everybody knew when they got up the next morning, they ate them or drunk them or however they partook of them. They all got high as Sodom and Gomorrah. That first baby born, they done it. Your shaman is your little man in red who cultivated the magic mushrooms on the cedar tree. They were decorated all over it like ornaments. Once they were dried, he delivered them in the hole in the yurt. Then everybody drunk it, and they got rid of the first kid born since the bunny and the egg event.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like quite the celebration.
Evil.
Yeah. I also find it interesting too that this Santa Claus character, he has slaves that make toys to distract children from being taught actual truth, because the whole idea of Santa Claus is all based on fantasy, where you have to be asleep to believe it. And I find it interesting too, because we've been talking about fire. We've been talking about a tree at the center of the garden. We've been talking about a toroidal, like the water spinning around the Rupa Negra, spinning around it where the four rivers come in, and the water spin around it, creating almost like kind of like a torus, like this candy cane over here spin. And of course, this fat guy here, he magically comes down the flume, in the fireplace, comes down it through the fire, and I'm sure that is not coincidence either. And but the main reason I brought up Santa here is because it made me wonder why they chose that Santa came from the North Pole, when the North Pole is very possibly something way outside of our ability to even realize exactly, because the only thing we've ever been told about the North Pole was Santa Claus was there, and that it's right here on the globe with this circle that's always on a globe. It's always covered. You can't see the North Pole on the globe because there's that little plastic ring or circle that covers it. That's the only place on the globe that you're not allowed to see, except for on the bottom. You're not allowed to see the Arctic either because it's covered. Now, is that just coinkydink?
There are no coinkydinks.
Yeah, I don't think that's a coinkydink at all. And you were talking about the mushroom thing, and I've heard that if you consume any kind of psychedelics like that, that everything gets nice and bright and shiny and magical, you might say. And
almost like the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, almost like the Aurora Borealis, or all these little bulbs like apples and other Taurus imagery that's hanging on the tree. And then, of course, you got the garland, which is always wrapped around the tree, going higher and higher and higher, just like a spinning Taurus, just like this candy cane that we wrapped around, going higher and higher and higher. We've got all this symbolism around us, actually kind of telling the truth a little bit about something, but it's been shown to us flipped backwards, upside down, and then reverse, and plagiarized and made to be the opposite of what it truly is and what it's supposed to represent.
Well, to my understanding, there was a real Kris Kringle. I'm not looked into that a great deal, but
there's probably one of them right now. Look him up. Google Kris Kringle. Where does he live? Well,
in history, and it had to do with gifting, but as with anything else, the wrong people get a hold of it and they twist it and commercialize it and turn it into a reason to program you to a commercial on television to go spend your hard-earned money on unnecessary junk that nobody needs, that has absolutely no quality. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Imagine today if a man dressed in a costume, we'll say, showed up at your house and all the doors were locked, and he sneaked in somehow or another, got in, and he had gifts for your children, and he wanted to give them gifts and while they were asleep. And that's quite the disturbing kind of happening, but somehow it was normalized through the Santa Claus thing. But these days, if that was going on, it would be pedo territory, And yeah, also, you notice too that Santa Claus, he always wore a pointed hat on his head. Of course, here it's flopped over, but a pointed hat on its head. And at the top and the tip of that pointed hat was a little white fluff ball, which you could call Polaris. It's the symbolism of the toroidal nature of the North Pole, with the little bright thing up at the very, very top being Polaris. And then, the whole fire thing, the red suit, there's all kinds of symbolism built in, but, they made it into some kind of fantasy instead of trying to actually figure out and tell the truth about anything. Because, well, we know why, because they're liars. They're
the whole commercialized shopping side of this holiday just irritates me, because even when you have children or you're a child, you're told, the value is in the giving. When is the last time you've seen an 8-year-old sit up under that tree on Christmas morning trying to give his stuff away? You haven't. So, these I got ain't. I've
seen them sit up under it, open it up, because they're opening little cubes. They're opening their cubes up, and they pull their stuff out of the cube, and it's like they throw it down, grab another box.
It's like, ooh, next.
What's that teach?
It teaches obsessive consumerism and disposability of goods.
And appreciation for nothing.
And appreciation and respect for nothing except give me another dollar, give me another dollar.
Yep.
And this is one of my things, I think that we have to start teaching our children the value of your time. If something costs you...
That's the only thing that really has value. That we can
offer if something at a store costs you $50, how long did you have to work? How many hours of your day did you have to spend to get something that's going to end up in the trash? Because the products today are not made with quality.
Yep.
They're made to be disposable, so you'll go back and buy another one.
Most young people nowadays just don't appreciate well-made stuff, like antiques that were really made well, as you happen to kind of know a little bit about. They don't appreciate it. They would rather have something they maybe seen on a commercial or promoted or something like that, even though it's of lesser quality. And maybe even the one that they could get that was quality is actually free and exists already all around them, but they would rather pay for something of lesser quality due to the marketing and branding that has been built into their minds through consumerism and getting gifts and saying next.
Well, I seen this a while ago, and you talk about rebranding things, and you could get things that were already for free, and some people will buy that same free thing and pay way too much for it. Does anybody know what paprika is? Have you ever seen a paprika tree? Or a paprika bush?
Nope. What is paprika, as a matter of fact?
Paprika.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
I learned this from Cat Williams this morning. It's dried bell peppers.
Paprika is dried bell peppers?
When the bell pepper dries up and it's not fresh looking and you don't want to use it in a salad, they literally dehydrate it, grind it up, and sell it to you as paprika.
I thought that was potpourri.
No, that's paprika.
Kind of a similar name, kind of a similar thing, grinding up junk and calling it something else.
Yep, they just rebranded it and put a new name on it. It's bell peppers.
That's crazy.
It's ground up red bell peppers.
Well, guys, today we are going to leave you wanting more. And we're going to give you more all the time. We're going to be broadcasting 5 days, even 7 days, and even multiple broadcasters on the Supernatural Show network on a regular basis. We've got a lot of work to do, and on top of having a lot of work to do, we've got to have a lot of help. Right now, we've got some people that we are onboarding. We've got a lot of work to do to get them lined up and going and broadcasting. Some of them already are broadcasting, but get them into the network. We'll be announcing all the ones that are coming on here in the very near future. But at the moment, we've got kind of a hold on that at the moment, and a hold on bringing on new help, helping us do various things, because the network is growing. It is growing quickly, but we've got to catch up on work, and we'll be bringing information back to you, announcing a lot of things, and also asking in the near future for more help. But for the moment, we got to get this organized and flowing good, running good, running on all 8 cylinders, which would be better than what my car's running on right now, about 6 or 7. But we've got to get it running good, and then we'll upgrade again from there and continue to expand and grow the Supernatural Show network with a lot of awesome people, really awesome people. And but really the most awesome people, because none of what we could do would even work or be functional if y'all guys weren't there. Y'all guys are the foundation of the Supernatural Show network. In many, many ways, y'all guys are the foundation. I hope you understand that. And we'll be talking more about that, as a matter of fact, coming in the very, very near future, maybe even by the end of the week. We'll be talking more about that. But I want to thank...
Well,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. I was going to go over this week's schedule.
Okay,
I will be on tomorrow night at 7:30 with Shannon. I'm hoping.
Eastern
Shannon's
time?
Eastern. Shannon's out there on the road somewhere trying to get back home from work.
Mm-hmm.
Then you on Wednesday for Logic Before Authority in the afternoon.
Yep.
Shannon on Thursday night with me co-hosting on her channel at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific Standard. And I think Friday, the gang's all together for the Supernatural Show.
Yep. We'll be back all together on Friday. Normally, we're going to be running Mondays and Fridays where everybody comes together, even though some of the new, for lack of better words, because we've got to come up with the words, but for now, we call them broadcasters, that are already out there. They're YouTubers, whatever you want to call them, that are coming and joining us on the network. We're proud to have them, and we've just got a lot of work to do. But
we're building an army, folks.
Yeah, an army of truth. And
I got a special shout out.
Mm-hmm.
All is an illusion. Just saying, hey, wanted to let you know. I knew you were out there.
All is an illusion.
All a illusion. I'm sorry, all a illusion.
All a illusion.
But anyway, it was a requested shout out. Anyway,
did you hit your head?
But no, I dropped my phone.
Oh, I thought it was your head. I thought I heard something sound like a 50-gallon drum. Boom.
Keep on, funny man. My head is about to drop. I'm exhausted. I'm telling you. I had to go back up the stairs while I go to the kitchen because I'd started dinner, and I'm like, why did I move into a house with stairs? This is insane.
Be careful.
Everybody, Aunt Kim has already took a tumble down my stairs.
Yeah, she did. Now her butt's sore and her back sore, and her ribs a little bit. She'd be all right. She didn't. She fell and started laughing.
I don't have homeowners. Just saying, I ain't got no homeowners.
Dang it! Missed the opportunity.
I'll trade you a chair.
And
but not that chair.
I seen your message from the website, the ARC and the number 6, and yep, I know what you're referring to. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things, even more like that, and continue on this path of understanding in multiple different directions that ultimately all lead to the one place that we all want to find, which is the truth. And along the way, glorify our Father in heaven, because he ultimately is the source of all truth. And he wants us all to find it. But without the darkness of this world, you couldn't see the light. So when you're wondering why bad things happen and this things goes on, we couldn't see the light if we didn't have darkness. This is a duality world that we live in. Thank you, Roxy, for being here. Thank you, Miss Kim. Thank you, Super Dave and Super Mike. Imagine you out there. I just don't have a chat window open where I can see it. And thank all of you for being here. all of you that are the foundation of the Supernatural Show, and that is you, the viewer. We love you. Our Father in heaven loves you, and we'll see you again. Roxy will see you tomorrow. I'll see you on Wednesday. Shannon will probably be with Roxy tomorrow. Well, you heard the schedule. We love you. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.